Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. This is going to be the first live stream this year. If you're new here, please introduce yourselves in the comments. I'd like to know you and I'd like to meet you. Where in the world are you tuning in from? And to all of my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I see you guys and I really appreciate you. Thank you for always, supporting your girl right here on this channel. Today, we're going to be talking about discipline. Yes, discipline, how to develop discipline. And I understand that, this is the first live stream of the year. I might be expecting me to talk about goals, goal setting and all of the good stuff. But today, let's talk about discipline because there's no achievement of goals without having discipline. So today we're going to be diving into how to develop the habits of discipline. Yes. And just in case no one has told you, the hardest, or just in case you don't know, the hardest thing to earn in life is not money. It's not that. I'm telling you, and it's not trust. It is discipline. That's the hardest thing to earn in this life. I'm telling you, because money can be given to you. Yes. Success can also be shared. Yeah, and trust can also be broken. But when we talk about discipline, nobody can hand discipline to you. Nobody can say, okay, my daughter, my son, take discipline. No, nobody will hand it over to you. And that's why it feels really heavy. It feels really heavy because you have to build it yourself. You have to do it all by yourself. You have to build it choice by choice. You have to build discipline day by day. And honestly, the closest that you ever be to, building discipline is right now. Yes, right. Especially at the beginning of the new year. And I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about now, like right now. I remember towards the end of last year, people were, talking about setting new resolutions for themselves. And that was the end of last year. And I said something to someone. I said, this is the best time to start. Thank you so much, sis, for joining. So I was telling someone that the best time to start that your new year resolution is now, before the new year kicks in. And it felt like I was speaking German, but it's the truth. You need to, start prepping. You need to start disciplining. You have to, develop that habit of discipline so that it becomes a part and parcel of you. So discipline is something that no one hands it over to you. No matter how much your parents love you or your mentors love you, they cannot hand discipline over to you. You have to discipline, you have to build it by yourself, and you have to build it brick by brick every single day, because the habits that you form now would help you in the future, will determine where exactly you go. And people always say that greatness, when we talk of success, success is not something that happens in one day. Success is not, when you see someone graduated. No, the person did not just graduate in one day. The person put in effort every single day. The person put in the work, put in everything that they need to do. And that day, you're celebrating them in one day, but the effort took a long time to get to where they are. And that's something you need to understand when we talk about discipline, and that's why when people say I will start it tomorrow, and a lot of times you imagine that it will be easier for me tomorrow, or I'll be ready tomorrow. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. When we talk of discipline, even when you're not ready. Felt like coming live today? No. So you don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel like doing it. Yes, that's what they call discipline. I'm telling you, because discipline doesn't want excuses. When we talk of discipline, you're not giving stories. Last week we had our first free YouTube training for the year. And I was telling people, YouTube is not a platform where you just, if you want to succeed on the platform, it's not a platform where you upload videos when you feel like. You have to make things happen. You have to create systems that ensures that you show up when you should, when you should. And honestly, like I said, discipline doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't even care about your fears. It doesn't want to hear, oh, I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid to talk to the camera, or I'm afraid to do, or I'm bothered about what X will say or what Y will say. No, discipline is you do it regardless. I'm telling you, it is born in the moment that you finally say enough is enough. You say enough is enough to you procrastinating. Enough is enough to you saying, I'm going to do this thing and I end up not doing it, or setting goals and not achieving it, or wishful thinking. Enough is enough. So if you're waiting for that perfect moment to build it, you're actually in it right now, like right now. So if there's something that you've been working on, or if there's something that you've always wanted to do, this is your time to do it afraid, do it scared, do it anyways, and that's why I always say, if you can't run walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, just keep moving. I mean, discipline is something that you have to build upon every single day. And when you say, oh, how did you get to know? It wasn't one day. So you have to start now. I'm telling you. And it's about conquering yourself. And conquering ourselves it's not something easy. And it's just so you know, it's the most impressive. Yes, it's the most when you are able to conquer yourself and say, hey, enough to giving all the excuses. I am going to do it. In fact, you need a lot of strength. Yes, you need a lot of strength to do it, but you can do it day by day, brick by brick. And I'll give an example of maybe this is the easiest example I can give someone who wants to lose weight. You know, you accumulated all of that, size within a period of time. So a lot of people want to do it the easy way, but you have to start small and trust the process. Maybe by cutting off carbs from your diet, do it every day, or fasting, or drinking a lot of water, or working out, but you have to be consistent. I don't know if you've seen viral videos of people on TikTok where they share their progress, from the beginning of the year. They're like, okay, this is January of 2020, as at last year, January 2025, they were like 400 pounds. And by the end of the year, they are down to like 250 pounds. They lost about 150 pounds within 1 year. And it's all about consistency. It's about discipline. So who exactly are you? What are you working towards? And do you know that no matter how serious, no matter how hard it feels or it seems, trust me, you can actually do anything that you want to do. You can set that goal and see to it that it comes to pass. You can set that goal and see to it that it becomes a reality. So for a lot of people who think, oh, it's far-fetched, oh, it's not possible, oh, it's easy for you. No, it's not easy for you. Nobody was born with discipline. Nobody was born with discipline. So we develop it over time. It's something that we develop over time, and it's something that, you too can develop. So if you see someone that you really admire and you look up to, there's no big deal. That's the truth in what they're doing. If only you can commit to it. If you can commit to it, and before you know it, you have that high level of discipline. I mean, I've always admired people, back in the university. I read books, and I wish, I'm inspired by the people that, my mentors. I'm really, really inspired by them. And I'm like, I can't wait to get to this level. And here I am today. So regardless of where you are right now, regardless of your journey, like right now, you can be that person. I'm telling you. So the first thing you need to do is to have that mentality shift. You need to have that mentality shift, and take small steps, yes, towards organizing yourself. And that's why I always say things, achieving anything at all starts from your mind. It's all about your mindset. If you're able to tell yourself, okay, enough is enough to, procrastination, enough is enough. I'm no longer gonna be where I used to be 5 years ago. I want to actually take active steps, towards taking myself to the next level, or moving to the next level. So once you're ready, once you tell yourself that, you are actually on your way there. And if you have mentors, good for you. So yes, that's the first thing you need to do. Have that mindset shift and tell yourself, hey, enough is enough. We are taking this dream to the next level. That dream has to happen. So quit sleeping on your dreams, quit sleeping on yourself, and start doing. So like I said, take steps towards organization. And then I'll also say this: consistently pray, because prayer is the master key. Honestly, developing greater self-control, because honestly, it's about self-control. And sometimes, the body is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. So sometimes you really want to do it from the depth of your heart, but you find yourself still doing what you should not be doing. So it's about, developing that level of greater self-control and asking God, for directions for God to help you make that possible for you. Now, you also need to welcome responsibility and accountability. Yes, so welcome responsibility, yes, and take accountability. See, I listened to a number of successful entrepreneurs, and one of them, who happens to be Jack Ma, by the way, the founder and CEO of Alibaba, said that a lot of people are afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail, then you're not ready for business. And so a lot of people also I mean, he said a lot of things, and I'm like, really? Okay, that's so cool. So he said, so many people, want to they don't want to experience anything called failure. If you're not ready to fail, then you're not ready to succeed, because failure is an integral part of success. It's part of. He said, I'm even still failing every day. You know. So, but the interesting thing is, success. Once you hit success, that's all. It's one time. It's one time. Yes, you just hit it once. You just need that opportunity once, and that is it. And you're not going back again. So you need to, really sit down and listen to people, or have mentors, people that you can listen to, people that you can, learn from, and also read their books, because honestly, books actually take you into a world of possibilities. Reading books helps you to develop that highly inquisitive and highly logical and, transformed mind. So you need to also, reading is something you cannot leave out. If you want to be really disciplined, you need to get into the habit of reading every single day. Yes, you have to, even if it's 10 minutes in a day. You start small and then you grow over the period of time. Now let's talk about nourishing your body, taking care of your body, sleeping well, regular exercise, and eating well. That's also something that, we're talking about discipline here. So if you really, really want to master the art of discipline, I mean, if you look at a lot of successful entrepreneurs, billionaires, they are fit. Many of them are fit. Yes. So no matter how busy they are able to still create time to nourish their body. They are able to create time to eat right. Eating right is different from eating right and exercising. There's a whole difference. Yes, it goes beyond just eating right. And also sleeping, getting enough sleep hours, every single day. I just got my weights on Amazon. Look at that. Government cutie. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. You see? So you really, really, really have to, be disciplined. You really have to be intentional. Nourishing your body is part of it. When we talk about discipline, now you're not looking fit, or you're not fit. Sometimes you look fit, but you're not really fit. That's another different ballgame entirely. So you have to be mindful. All of these things really, really matter. And you have to take them into cognizance, because yes, the truth is, I mean, everybody can wish. That's why they say, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. Beggars will have they will have horses and they will start riding up and down. So it goes beyond wishful thinking. It goes beyond just thinking. Thank you, Cover Me Cutie. You are amazing. Thank you. So you have to also, ensure that you are sleeping well. You are doing the right things, putting the necessary things in place. Then you also need a daily planner. You need a daily planner. In case you don't have a planner, or you don't even have, you don't have a journal where you write those. See, you have to. You see, the shortest pen is better than the shortest memory. When you have a short pen or a short pencil, as long as it can write, it is better than having a short memory where you think of something, you conceive an idea, and then you forget in the next minute, and you can't get back to it. You can't remember it. And when you conceive an idea and you don't tell someone, there's no way to remind yourself or go to the storage, go to the memory and then pick it, So, and a lot of times, so many people, especially creative people, they forget things quickly and easily. So the moment that thing comes to your mind, write it down. The moment you conceive that idea, that thought, write it down. Thank you for following, John Juvens. Thank you so much. So you have to be intentional. You have to be mindful. You have to be demure, write it down. Write down those goals, make it plain, make it easy, make it something that you see every single day. If you really want to be disciplined, sometimes, I mean, we are human beings and we are prone to, errors, making mistakes. So if you don't want to digress, if you don't want to drift apart from your goals, if you don't want to be distracted from your goals, then you have to, find a way to write it down, make it plain, write it down. Yes, so that at the end of the day, you are following through with it. The good thing, or one fantastic advantage of writing down your goals, is that it keeps you on track. It keeps you right on track. So just in case you have this, great idea, and yes, in the morning you're gingered, you're fired up, and by evening you've forgotten, and you're no longer, we're all human beings. It happens. I'm telling you, and I'm speaking from experience. You find out that you're not working towards that goal anymore. That's because you are not writing them down. That's because those goals are not written down. You can't see them. It's not visual. So you have to make it visual, make your goals visual, make it clear, put it in a place where you are daily, constantly reminded of your goals. You're constantly reminded of those things that you really want to do, that you really want to push. So go ahead and write it down. It's very, very important. Make it plain. And then also push out distractions. Yes, push out distractions. When we talk of discipline is pretty much doing what you should do when you should do it, not doing what you shouldn't be doing when you should not be doing it. And I'll give you an example. Scrolling through the phone, scrolling through, the internet, the streets of the internet. If you're scrolling through and you know that this time I'm supposed to spend this time maybe scheduling emails, or creating my email list, or drafting, my content, or doing anything, or creating my business plan. This time that you have allotted, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours or something, that you have allotted to put in some work for your business, or maybe for, whatever it is that you're planning. For sure that this time is meant to be spent doing X and Y. But you find yourself scrolling through the streets of the internet. And interestingly, one crazy thing about the internet is that you can scroll through for hours, gaining nothing. You have achieved nothing. You have just wasted, blown out those 3 hours that can never be gotten back. So how do you blot out distractions? How do you take off distractions? I've mentioned it so many times on my channel that I've had to delete apps. Yes, on my phone, I've had to delete Instagram app. I've had to delete Facebook app. I've had to delete Pinterest. I've had to delete apps that were, distracting. Yes, I've had to delete those apps at some point in time. And the interesting thing is, you can actually, you can minimize distractions by staying away from anything that distracts you from your goal. Yes, anything that distracts you from your goal, like those apps, like staying away from junk food, like taking yourself away from spaces, from people that remind you of the past, places that you want to walk away from, that you really want to put behind you. So maybe you have a group of friends who are always hanging out and, going to, take stuffs that are not healthy. And this is something that you want to stay away from. The next time you get invited into such gathering, you can just politely decline. Those are distractions for you. People who don't talk about growth, people who don't talk about success, people who don't talk about, how to level up, people who don't talk about books, people who are not ready to have intellectual discussion with you. You have to, those are distractions. You have to put them right behind you and not entertain such discussions anymore. And this is a new year. It's a good time for you to actually start to establish those boundaries and start to develop self-discipline, because it is very important. We can't talk about setting goals and achieving our goals without talking about discipline. We can't. There's no way. We can't separate the two. So we need to be disciplined. Discipline is something that a lot of people struggle, even entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. Some of them struggle with certain things, certain, discipline in certain areas, but guess what? It is always possible. Change is always possible. Like at any time, whenever you're ready to create that change for yourself, then you can go for it. But you know what? You have to have it at the back of your mind that those distractions are not doing you any kind of good, and you have to do away with them at, like, right now, not at when right now. So go into your your list. Maybe you have to start shuffling through your list of friends today and start, what value is this person, what kind of energy do I get each time I call this person? Is this person a downer? Is this person a discourager? Or is this person an encourager? You might have to reshuffle your circle. Or does this person take me farther away from God, or this person draw me closer to God? Just reshuffle your circle and be mindful with your energy. It's a new year. It's part of discipline. You have to be mindful of the kind of people that you allow, into your circle, the kind of people that that you exchange, bounce off ideas from. Now, you also need to do the hardest and the most important things first. Do the hardest and the most important things first. Because a lot of times we have a lot of things to do, especially as entrepreneurs, as creatives. We have so much on our plates, we have so much to do, and then we end up doing, the least important first. No, you have to do the most difficult and the most important things first. Do the most difficult things first. So yes, you have to put it at the back of your mind that the first thing you want to do, maybe when you get to your office table or your office desk, clear out the hardest things. And that's one thing I strive to do every single time when I find myself, because it's easy to get distracted. That's why we call it distractions. It's so easy to get distracted in this time and age. So one thing you want to do for yourself is to write down a list of things in order of their priority. So if you're able to get things, in the order of their importance, then you can tackle the first things first. First things first means you're taking out the most difficult tasks. You're doing the most difficult tasks like right now. You're not waiting to do the easy things and then you get to the hard part and your energy is down. And that's another thing. You need to be mindful of your energy. You need to understand the time. Study yourself well enough to know when your peak period is, the times when you have high energy. A lot of us, let me speak for myself, I have high energy the moment I wake up. That energy is like is it colostrum? Colostrum. The first part of breast milk when you give birth, right? The most important, they call it liquid gold. So that's my own liquid gold, like in the day. That's when I have high energy. That's when I have a lot of energy that I can dispense at very high speed. That's when my head is very hot. I'm able to put in a lot of brain tasks within a very short period of time. I'm able to maximize and optimize my time the moment I wake up. So that's why I said write down the things that you need to do, have a list of your plans or your goals, and then tackle the ones that are most difficult. Tackle the ones that are most, that are hard for you to do. So you have to always, have it in that order so that you are not distracted. We're talking about how to develop discipline, and that's one way to get things done. Because a lot of times, sometimes for people, they have these, plenty of ideas. I want to do X, I want to do Y, I want to do Z. And at the end of the day, they do nothing, zero. Because why? They are just starting from nowhere. They're starting from the least important. And at the end of the day, they don't even complete that single task. But you have to constantly put yourself back on track. Constantly put yourself back on track by doing the most difficult things first, and also set timers for yourself. How long do you want to spend doing the first, task? Maybe 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, depending. You have to be intentional about it, because honestly, discipline, when we talk about discipline, developing discipline is something that you have to be really intentional about. It's about doing things with intention. And when you start doing things with intentions, you start to see results before you know it. The next thing I want to talk about is following up. Yes, follow through with your own responsibilities. Follow through with the things that you told yourself you want to do. And let's assume that, okay, you are able to itemize or outline the important, all of your tasks, and then you start them, but you don't finish. Now that's when following through comes in. Follow through with your responsibilities. Follow up. Okay, what are the things I need to, so before you take a break, and the next day, before you start from something else entirely, why don't you finish what you started? Finish with that one task that you started yesterday, and then continue today and finish up that task completely, and then you move to the next one. Don't just keep going around in circles. Before you know it, it's going to be a case of someone trying to solve everybody's problems or the world's problems, and you end up it's like chewing an apple. I don't know if you've seen that image on the internet where somebody goes with a whole basket of flour of apples, and the person is chewing, a little bite and a little bite and chewed a little bite of out of all the apples. I mean, about 100 apples and a little bite, it's all like literally useless. Who is gonna eat the rest of the apples? So you have to make sure that you finish with one task before you move to the other ones. Yes, that's something that you also need to, you need to have at the back of your mind. Follow through with your responsibilities. How many of us actually hire our phones as our assistants? You can actually make your phone your servant. Yes, not the other way around. A lot of people's phones have turned them to servants. A lot of people serve their phones. Their phones don't serve them. Your phone is supposed to do a lot of things for you beyond making calls and scrolling through the streets of the internet or checking, social media, everybody's statuses, checking what is going on with other people and not checking in with what is going on with your life. Your phone can do a lot more than that for you. You can use your phone to study. You can use your phone to organize. You can use your phone to get clients. You can use your phone to create systems. You can use your phone to set timers. You can use your phone to, you can use it to also take notes and plan. I'm telling you, and itemize, use it to also discipline yourself. You can set a 15 minutes timer interval. I mean, in between intervals, you can set a 10 minutes timer. Maybe you're doing something and this is also something I do. I don't know if everybody does it. When I'm doing my makeup and I want my makeup to be within 15-20 minutes, I set timer. I set a 5-minute timer. Once I hear the first 5-minute timer, I hit the first 5-minute timer. I'm asking myself, girl, how far are you sure you're able to finish up in the next 10 minutes? So use your phone. It's a reminder. So that phone is like somebody standing beside you and saying, hey, you need to hurry up. So you can use your phone for more than just, calling and gossiping on the phone and checking, the internet and just scrolling through the streets of the internet. You can actually make your phone to work for you. So you can use your phone to organize your life. You can use your phone to also, of course, access information. And you can even use it to, navigate a lot of things. Yes, you can use it to do a lot of things. Get it done. Use it to get important tasks done. And you can also turn off your phone. You can turn off your phone. Like you don't have to, pick all the calls every single time. For me, when I'm sleeping, when it's time for me to take my nap, I don't take my phone with me to my bedroom. I do not. It's a rule. It's a standard rule. And nobody brings my phone when it's ringing. I don't care. At the time I'm meant to be relaxing or resting, whatever it is can always wait until I wake up. So it's your own job to control your time. I'm telling you, in today's hyper busy world. So plan for rest though. Plan for exercise and plan for your family. When we talk of discipline, it also has to do with leaving out time for family, leaving out time for yourself, leaving out time for exercise, to work out and to eat clean and to maybe prep your meals if you're not ordering food, outside, from maybe a fast food or something, so you also have to be disciplined, with the time that you spend with your family, the time that you spend working out, the time that you spend, eating clean, the time that you spend taking care of your body. You have to be intentional about it. So it's not, life is not all about work and work and work. That's why you see a lot of people, especially people in the tech industry, a lot of people are married to their job. A lot of people just work and work and work and work, and they're on the computer and they are slaving away their time and their energy and their focus. They can't think of anything other than the job, and that's something people need to strike a balance between. Even though people have argued so many times that there's nothing like work-life balance, really, but you can still make a difference. You can still tell yourself, hey, this year I want to prioritize time that I spend with family. This year I want to prioritize the time that I spend for myself. I want to prioritize the time that I spend taking care of my body. I want to prioritize the time I spend working out. For me, I use a terminology that helps me, retain that consciousness that I have to work out every day, which is I pay myself every day. Yes, I pay myself every day. How do I pay myself every day? By working out. I pay myself every day when I work out. And the interesting thing is that God actually wants us to produce, discipline. Yes, self-control is part of the fruits of the spirit. So if you're a Christian, you will understand what I'm saying. So their self-discipline is actually the foundation, to so many other aspects of life. It's something that you need to, everyone needs it. If you're not a disciplined person, I don't know how you would, achieve things or get to where you really want to go in life. So discipline is an integral part of life. It's something that we all need to have, to a very large extent. And I hope that this video, will help one or two people, to work on developing their own self-discipline. So thank you all so much for joining me in today's episode. I remain your girl Miriam. If you have not liked this video, please go ahead and like it. If you haven't shared, your name, where are you watching from in the comments, please go ahead and introduce yourself. I really want to know you and I want to meet you. Where are you watching from? And please go ahead and check out my previous videos. Yes, check out my grants videos. And if you have any question for me, let me know in the comments. And if you also want me to talk about anything at all on this channel, let me know as well. And at this point, I want to say thank you once again. And of course, I'll see you guys in my next video. All right, take care of yourselves and God bless you. Bye for now, guys. Take care. And I hope that all of you are going to exercise this, all of these tips going forward. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to stop it. Okay. All right, guys, take care.